Hi everyone, it's Bobby of Knitter's Niche. Welcome to my bonus room. Welcome to my Knitter's Niche. Today is April 29th, 2025. It is getting later and later. I'm losing light, so we're going to get with it. Let's get this going. Okay, this is a big jam-packed episode. We're going to be talking about 12 springtime and summertime striped sweaters and tees. Okay, let's talk about why striped sweaters and tees are popular this time of year. The reason being is it has that nautical warm weather look. Well, the 12 patterns I'm going to talk about are really taking those up a notch. They're really bringing them up here because we're looking for a little more sophisticated stripes. We're looking for some different shaping going across our stripes. We're looking for texture. So we're going to go over different categories, and then each category we're going to have some sweater patterns to discuss. Stranded colorwork striped sweaters are what we're going to talk about first. And in this particular category, I have 3 sweaters to talk about. The first one is the Norma sweater, and this is by My Favorite Things. I'll show you some pictures here, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about stranded colorwork striping. This sweater is knit with a lace and sport weight yarn held together. US 8, which is 5.0 millimeter needles are used, a US 6, which is 4.0 millimeter, and a US 2.5, which is 3.0 millimeter needles are used. We're going to take a look at some of the attributes in Ravelry. It is knit in the round. It is long sleeved, mock turtleneck, oversized, raglan sleeve. There are short rows, and stripes are color worked. I love it. It is knit top down. The best thing I like about this, like I just said, I just want to elevate those stripes. I want something a little extra. And you know, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I want something a little more unique than your basic stripe. It's not that those sweaters aren't wonderful. They are. A lot of times they have beautiful constructions on the shoulder, some intricate, unusual, I shouldn't say unusual, different construction on the shoulders, which is great. But let's do something about the design part here, the look of the stripes. So the Norma sweater is a classic raglan sweater with a mock neck, a timeless and elegant design with a beautiful drape and comfortable loose fit. The neckline is shaped with short rows after the ribbing is knitted. The simple but distinctive multicolored pattern creates a focal point reminiscent of 60s and 70s knitting traditions. The sweater is worked top to bottom, allowing you to try it on along the way. Love, love, love the Norma sweater. You've probably noticed this new way of looking at stripes. You've probably noticed them on Ravelry. You've noticed it on my Instagram. It's all over the place. You can't miss it. So the second one we're going to talk about is the Lucretia pullover, and then it's by Claudia Quintanilla. I'll have some pictures here for you to look at. It is knit with a fingering and lace weight yarn held together. It looks like she's using Sandnesgarn tin silk mohair and Sandnesgarn Sunday petite knit. And there are 2 colors here, as you can see, that you're using in the pattern. You want a light background with a darker contrasting color. Claudia says about her sweater, this oversized sweater is both understated and striking for its stripe details. The eye-catching stripes are reminiscent of cathedral arches, giving the basic sweater a layer of added dimension. And honestly, that's what these stripes do. These extra, they give you something extra. The bell sleeves paired with the wide body offer a relaxed, effortless fit that is perfect for everyday wear. Okay, that's the second one in this category. The third one in the stranded stripe colorwork category is the Key sweater. And the Key sweater is by Petite Knit. So let's take a look in Ravelry here. It's a worsted plus the lace equals Aran weight. It is knit with US 6, which is 4.0 millimeter needles, and a US 7, which is 4.5 millimeter needle. Let's see what she has to say about her sweater. The Key sweater is worked from the top down with raglan increases. The body and sleeves are worked in the round and finished with rib stitches. The pattern is knitted with a 2-color stripe pattern. Now the price on this is $7.97 US dollars, and I think Petite Knit has a really good price point for all of her patterns. I mean, $7.97, come on. For all that work and effort, she does keep it as a very good price, which I appreciate. Okay, the next category we're going to talk about is a separate category. It's called the Slipped Stitches Colorwork Stripes. Slip stitches, come on. That's mosaic. That is so easy to do color work with slip stitches. So the first one we're going to talk about today, the Grape Tea, is by Ann Vinsel. So let's take a look in Ravelry and see what information we can find here. It is knit with fingering plus lace plus sport, which equals sport weight yarn. So if you have sport weight yarn for your two different colors, perfect. Don't worry about all these additional yarns that you hold together. You can just do single on each color if you have a sport weight. Okay, US 4 needle, which is 3.5 millimeter, is used. A US 2.5, which is 3.0 millimeter needle, is used. Let's take a look at the attributes. Okay, it's knit in the round. It has positive ease, seamless, short rows, slip stitches. That's what gives you your color work. Top down, twisted stitches are used. Looks like it's a knit through the back loop. It's your collar, the hem of your sleeve, and the hem of the body of the sweater. There is a video tutorial that comes with the pattern. So this pattern is $7.97 US dollars, and that's that's great. This was just released March 2025, last month. There are 24 projects on Ravelry. So the second one we're going to talk about in this category, okay, it's by the same designer. And as I'm looking in my Ravelry on my iPad here, it is called, and I guess it's pronounced Grape, G-R-A-P-E, Grape and Gramma. Gramma, G-R-A-M-M-A. It is also, like I said, by Ann Vinsel. This was also released March of 2025, just last month. There are 22 projects on Ravelry. The yarn that's used is a lace plus a DK plus a worsted, equal worsted. Now you could use, if you just have a worsted, you could use your two colors just in a worsted weight without having to hold several yarns together. A US number 6 needle, which is 4.0 millimeter, is used for this pattern. It is knit in the round. It's mosaic. Yay! Positive ease, short rows, slip stitches, that's your mosaic. Striped color work, knit top down, twisted stitches. A video tutorial also is in this pattern. It is a written pattern. Let's take a look and see what the designer says about this sweater. The Grape and Gramma is an elegant sweater worked in stockinette stitch with a distinctive slipped stitch pattern. The slip stitch pattern is straightforward in this project. What looks like a stranded pattern is knitted with one color at a time, lowering the difficulty level. The sweater is worked seamlessly from the top down. Let's see here. Short rows are worked on both front section and back section and sleeves to create a good fit. So you're going to have short rows here, here, and on the sleeves. And honestly, those short rows are not hard. German short rows are the way to go. Okay, love this so much. As you're taking a look at the pictures here, like again, you see these all over the place. I love it. And I love the fact that there are slip stitches. You can't get any easier than that. You really can't when it comes to color work. Okay, the third and last sweater we'll talk about in this category, which would be your slip stitch category, is the Structure Loop sweater. And this is by Other Loops. There's some pictures for you to take a look at while we're looking Ravelry. The yarn weight used is Aran weight. US 6 needle, which is 4.0 millimeter, is used for this pattern. The Structure Loop sweater is an oversized sweater with stripes of structured knitting on the body and sleeves. The shoulder features a rib stitch detail that continues along the armhole and forms a panel along the side of the body. The sweater is worked from the top down. In the round, there are short rows, positive ease, slip stitches, yay, easy way to do stripes. That will give you your stitch color work. It is a written pattern. It is a written pattern. Okay, that category. Love all those. Love all three of those. Okay, the next category is textured stripes with color work. Okay, textured stripes with color work. I have two sweaters I want to talk about. I did mention this particular one last podcast, and I'll put a link down below to all my previous episodes if you'd like to take a look. Is the Ida T by Petite Knit. So we're going to take a look in Ravelry, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this than what I did last time. There it is, the Ida T. Here's some pictures. The Ida T is knit with a DK weight yarn. She is using cashmere here, but you can use any DK weight yarn. And what this does, it features eyelets. Okay, that is going to give you the texture. And then it features also the contrast color striping together, the two of them together in one knitted tee. It's a crew neck, eyelets, short sleeve, stripes, textured, written top down. It is a written pattern. The Ida tees worked from the top down in a pattern of texture and contrast color stripes. And we all know with a petite knit sweater, you are going to be getting some beautiful finishing techniques that it's going to turn out so professional looking. Let's take a look at the shoulder. I really am enjoying the shoulder here. I'll put the picture up there. It shows the raglan increases going down from the neck, going down, and then the first stripe you see is a textured stripe, which I think is an excellent idea because a lot of times when you start your stripe right here, it's going to go like this, and then the raglan is going to take it up a sharp angle like this. And I think using the eyelets to be your first stripe is a very good idea in a smooth transition into your striping. All right, that's the first one in that category. The next one in the textured stripes with colorwork category is the terracotta. This one's awesome. This is a beautiful sweater. If I could only knit one so beautiful. The terracotta sweater by Lynette, which is Lene Home Samso. Okay, this is amazing. Come on. Look at this sweater. It's gorgeous. It is beautiful. We're going to take a look in Ravelry at some of the photos here. And also, let's take a look at the type of yarn. She's using lace plus fingering, which equals fingering. So the US size needle is 2.5, which is 3.0 millimeter. US 4 needle, 3.5 millimeter. And US 6 needle, 4.0 millimeter. All these needles are used in different parts of the sweater in this pattern. So let's see what we got here. The yarn she's using here is Sandnesgarn 10 Silk Mohair and Sandnesgarn 10 Peer Ghent. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful sweater. I cannot say enough about this. This is gorgeous because, like I said, it has the texture along with the color work. And I would love to knit this. It is fingering weight, so it would be a longer knit. And you do have stranded color work in there. So, but I think doing the texture knitting also will give you a little bit of a break on that. And I think it's going to prompt you to keep knitting on and on until you get to the next area. Like if you're doing the color work, and you're doing that for a while, and you go to the texture knitting, that would keep me going. It would keep me going. So that is so pretty. I would love, love, love to knit the terracotta sweater. Actually, this is the next category. Okay. All right. If you're thinking, Bobby, you know, I don't want to mess with color work. I don't want to mess with this yarn and that yarn. I want to use one yarn, but I want a striped sweater. Okay. I've got you covered. You do a texture striped sweater or tee. Yeah. You get the look of the stripes just by the stitches that you knit with the same yarn through the whole sweater or tee. The first one we're going to look at is the Muesling Tee, and that is by Lynette. Again, Lene Home Samso. Let's take a look in Ravelry, and we'll see what the pattern has to offer. The Muesling Tee, this came out in May of 2023. Again, it is by Lynette. The yarn she's used is Sandnesgarn Lena, which, you know, I love Sandnesgarn Lena, and that is a worsted weight yarn. It has cotton, viscose, and linen in that yarn, so you get a beautiful drape. You'll be using US 2.5 needles, which is a 3.0 millimeter, and US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter needle. The attributes here are lace, adult, petite, and plus. A few attributes there. So let's take a look and see what else she says about this beautiful pattern. The delicate lace pattern on the muslin tee resembles a garland of small shells. The pattern stands out so nicely in a yarn with linen or cotton. German short rows are worked before the lace pattern begins so that the neckline gets a nice fit. Okay, that's the muslin tee. Lynette, I tell you, Lene Homesam. So she, and I think that's how you pronounce her name, Lene, I'm not sure. But she does a beautiful, beautiful job. Okay, that's the first one in that category. The second one is by Elspeth Judith. And Elspeth Judith is knit. The first one we'll talk about here is the summer noose. Now, I looked up what noose means, K-N-U-S, and it means hug. So I wonder if S-O-M-M-E-R means summer. I don't know. Summer hug. Okay, we're going to look in Ravelry here and see what they have to say about her pattern. The yarn is held together. The yarn says fingering and cobweb, so I'm wondering if that means mohair equals a sport weight yarn. So if you have just sport weight, that would work perfect too. US 6 needle is used, which is 4.0 millimeter, and a US 8 needle is used, which is 5.0 millimeter. Let's take a look at some of the attributes in Ravelry. A circular yoke, eyelets, long sleeve, short sleeve. You could do either one. It has positive ease, short rows. It's knit from the top down. Beautiful, beautiful sweater. I'm going to put a picture of my favorite one here. The favorite one underneath it here says that the short sleeves, and I'll put on there for you to see, one thread of Lena by Sandness or Bell by Drops. So you could use Bell, which is very similar to Sandness Garn Lena, very similar. But I love the color. I love the drape. The drape is everything. And the drape is another element when you are knitting. I mean, if you can use the required yarn, that would be the way to go. If not, I would look into Drops, purchasing Drops. They have so many different yarns, and they're very economical yarns. I would look into purchasing those. So again, this is the Summer Noose. I think it's Summer Kiss, or excuse me, I think it's Summer Hug. This is a sweater. You could do it short sleeve or long sleeve, and you'll see examples of it here. Is also by Elspeth Judith, and this is called the Salmon Sat. I should pronounce it. Salmon Set 24. Again, this is a textured pattern that we're using here to create the stripes. It is done with a fingering weight yarn. US 4, which is 3.5 millimeter needle is used. A US 2.5, which is 3.0 millimeter, is both used in this pattern. Is knit in the round, long sleeve or short sleeve, raglan sleeved. It is a written pattern, and there is positive ease. The Salmon Set 24 is a compound raglan t-shirt worked from the top down with the option of adjusting the length of the sleeves and body. It can either be customized to your liking or worked with an easy stitch pattern and ribbing at the bottom and sleeves. This is a perfect basic raglan t-shirt that can be the canvas for creating anything you want. I mean, you can use this pattern, basically is what she's saying. And I noticed here too, as I was reading on down, it says the sample is a size L, which is large, with stitch pattern number 1. So that tells me there's more than one stitch pattern within the written pattern. So it doesn't say on here how many different options there are. So there's some other options than the one that you're seeing here. I'll look at the pictures available and see if I can find a couple that she has knit, because I think there's some projects in here that actually have, the knitters have put up their own spin to it. So that's the Salmon Set, Salmon Set 24. The last one we're going to talk about in this total group, in this total springtime, summertime striped sweaters and tees, is going to be the tied tee. The tie tee is in the texture category. The designer is, I think it's Hannah Rimmon, H-A-N-N-E. I think it's pronounced Hannah. Let's look at Ravelry here. This is, well, yarn has held together a light which equals a light fingering. So she's using Filicalana, is it Tia? T-I-L-L-I-A, Tilia? And the Filicalana, that's a lace. It looks like it's mohair. And then the Filicalana Alva, which is a light fingering weight. So I would use a fingering weight and a mohair. It says yarn is held together. I don't know that. Here's what I'm thinking is going on with this sweater as I'm looking at it closer. I'll put pictures here. I'm thinking part of it is knit with the mohair and the fingering weight yarn held together, and then part of it maybe just with the mohair alone, because it just seems that way to me. Now, I definitely could be wrong. I have not purchased the pattern. Some of the attributes are a circular yoke in the round, short rows, slipped stitches. That's easy. It is knit top down. It is a written pattern. Here's how she describes this tee. The tie tee is a light summery shirt with short sleeves that has a relaxed fit and that embraces the breezy style of summer. The shirt has a beautiful neckline and a feminine fit that is easy to style for both everyday life as well as summer parties. The tied tee is named after the dance of the tide, as it magically withdraws, leaving fine grooves in the sand when the moon appears in the sky. It is magical. Color-wise, this design can be inspired by anything from the delicate light pastels to the saturated tones of nature. Okay, this is quite a bundle, y'all. So I hope you enjoy it. I've really enjoyed presenting it to you today. Let me back up. I never did talk about what I'm wearing. This is the Cap Rock tee, and the Cap Rock tee is by Yamagara. I'll put some pictures up here for you to see me wearing them, a little bit better pictures. I knit this with Sandnes Garn 10 Lena, which is the fingering weight, but I held 2 strands together. I really like the drape. It's almost a little lighter than just your flat out Sandnes Garn Lena, which is a worsted weight, but by using the 2 fingering weights together, and you really can't tell there's 2, but there's 2 held together. It's beautiful. And actually, this tee is my most worn out of all of mine. Is my most worn tee. I like it. I like it a lot. Beautiful. Okay. Well, I think that's all for today. I appreciate you so much for watching today. And remember what I always say, go out there and knit the tay. And I'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. It's Bobby of Knitter's Niche. All right. I'm trying to get, oh, Lordy, come on. Oh, my word. What in the heck? Can't I get this situated? See right there. Holy cannolis. Okay. Oh, that's good. Maybe. Oh, Lord, here we go. Here we go. Hi, everyone. It's Bobby of Knitter's Niche. Welcome to my Knitter's Niche. Hi everyone, it's Bobby of Knitter's Niche. Welcome to my bonus room. Welcome to my Knitter's Niche. Today is April 29th, 2025.